Now then, how's that doing? You alright, everybody? Good stuff, good stuff. So, back in my shed tonight, back in my old office, and a quick update on where I'm up to. Kettle away. So, you can see on my picture here, I've got a gorgeous instant coffee. And I've got an Airfix 1 in 24 Spitfire that I'm on primer stage. Engine is done, ready to rock, and I have dry fit that and tested it and one thing and another. Let's just have a look how that's looking before we move on to the actual nitty gritty of the video. I think you have to sort of put it in like that, and then it clicks into place down at the bottom. Okay, so what you can see there, you can see a black MRP primer with a little bit of dust on it, and come here, an engine was in and now it's off. Masked up the wheel wells last night to spray the black on, and on these particular areas I did run a little bit of Maskol, because that is where the other parts fit, and I don't want to get any glue on those. However, that is not why we're here. So I said on the last video that I'd come across a kit that had been on my radar for quite a while, and it has been, and luckily I always seem to drop unlucky these days. Dropped unlucky with Spitfire from Dave Housecroft at Sesco and Emsworth Community Scale Model Club at a great price, and it's turned out to be a great kit. And then he put some more of his stash up for sale and said, is anybody interested in these? And one of the particular models that he put on, as soon as I saw that, I thought I've got to snap his hand off, because like I say, it's been on my radar for quite some time. Okay. Now, I did mention it on the last video, but I didn't give any clues as to what it was, and I was going to do that. I look like Clive. But I finished work today. The Spitfire is ready for masking and doing some pre-painting. But I'm not in the mood to do that tonight. So just to bring it back on into shot, just to tell you what I'm going to do. So all the hatches, they're all glued down with a little bit of micro crystal clear, just so that I can pop them off. They're all painted, they're all filled underneath, because there's a couple of little sinkholes in. They're all painted, primed and painted. But you will never see them. I am not, I'm leaving myself an option on whether I want to put one on, take one off, blah blah blah, and that is for the top and the bottom. And I suppose for the one bit of an Achilles heel that I have not mentioned about this kit, because all I've done is sing its praises so far, is actually the hatches. They are slightly, ever so slightly, I don't know whether they're oversized, or you've got to just be really, really wary of the gubbins that you've got underneath, because if they are proud, then you will struggle to get the hatches down to conform properly. Cannons are on, all masked off, and one thing or another. The next stage for me with this, just to bring you up to date, will be to get the camo pan sort of taped on, and then go over each individual panel with the correct colour from MRP, that's the brand that I use. But instead of just doing a mottling or using a splatter mask or one thing or another, or just random patterns, I will be coating each panel, staying away from the panel lines obviously, with the right colour. So if I sort of put a demarcation line here, and this particular bit is grey, I've not looked, so I'm just sort of like guessing, then all this area right up to the masking tape will be done individually on each panel with the grey, and then the rest of it where the green is will be masked off back onto the grey, and again each individual panel sort of like a pre-painting coat, and then I'll distance with the airbrush to give it a top coat and blend that in. Okay, so that's where I'm up to with that. I'm covering two topics at the minute, aren't I? So you can see that my cutting mat, my gorgeous cutting mat, is empty. And without further ado, I am leaning over my seat to bring up that. And that is probably going to be my next one. I know Radders, Paul Radcliffe at Liverpool, I can see I've got a little bit of shine on that. He's looking forward to me building that one. Okay, there you go. It's that big, and I have actually got my camera on a telescopic arm, and the kit is that big it doesn't all fit in the box. So this is what I'm going to do next. Do you want to have a look? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I've not even been in it as yet. So we've got the Trumpeter 1 in 35 scale MIL MI 24V Hind E helicopter. I absolutely love this particular helicopter. If you look further down my videos, you will see that I did, I think it's a CH53, I'm pretty sure it's CH53. And I did all that in grey, and I do love this particular colour scheme. Now, don't we get sucked in with the box art? Yes, we do, Mark. Of course we do. It's what draws us to get into it straight away. And it looks like, I'm looking on side at box, this product is not a toy, and it's made in China, copyright 2018, da-di-da-di-da. And we've got a couple of schemes on here. We've got a Blue 04, which is Berlin Brandenburg 1922. 1922, that's obviously not the year it came out, and then we've got a grey Czech one. So that's the first one that I mentioned, that's the second one, and I do particularly like this one. However, I don't know yet. I haven't made my mind up because I haven't really, there's a couple more pictures here, I haven't really sort of like looked inside to see what I'm letting myself in for. I can see on this particular one there's a couple of aerial antenna as well. I didn't even know that they were on. Are they even on the... Can you see them on the main picture? You can, very, very faintly, going across the back there. That just looks absolutely epic. And I do know that Rob Adams in Canada, in Alberta, has built this one, and Rob's not the biggest fella on the planet, and in his hands it does look absolutely enormous. So the main rotor diameter, let's have a look. How big is it, mate? It's 494 millimeters. That's the main rotor diameter, 494. What's that in real money? Let's get my old ruler out and have a look. Well, that's 300. That's your standard school ruler. That's 300. So if I put that, I'll put it to, let me just move that box over ever so slightly. So 300 is to that window, and we're looking at 494, call it 500, so I can add another 20 on, which takes me to about there. So if I put the ruler there, in fact it's so big, look, it's out of shot. If I put my finger here, I'll just turn that round, and it goes to here where the ruler is. So that is the main rotor diameter. Okay, it's literally as long as this bloody box. Overall length, rotors turning 565 mil. The wingspan 187 mil. Total plastic parts 460 plus pieces. We get photo etched part, windscreen wiper, seat belts and antenna, and film parts is instrument part. I don't even know what that means. Do you know what that means? Okay, So while I opened the box, a little shout out to one of the chaps down at club, young Lewis, who's set up his own YouTube channel. Lo, good luck with that, mate. Can't wait to see what you do with that. Alright, buddy. Let's just get rid of the phone there. And then we're straight in. So, let's have a look at the decal pack, actually. Let's just have a look in here. In fact, it hasn't even been opened, look. Get my blade down there, slice, and get rid of that little bit of plastic there. So what sort of decals are we looking at? And carrier film and that kind of thing. And solid set, are we good? They are taped down, look at that. Well, dear, it's a while since I've seen taped down decals. So there you go. So your 04, if I turn it that way, look, so that you can see it on camera. So we've got the 04 and a couple of Russian stars, loads of little bits and bats. Okay, carrier film around those is absolutely zero. Around the stars, there's nothing at all. On the 04, obviously the centre of the circle's got a little bit of film in it. Don't think I cut it out because Sol and Set will take care of that. On these particular ones across the bottom, that looks like a full decal there, and there's loads of carrier film on there. So, you know, it's one of those things, isn't it? Which one am I going to do? But I will have to look out for those decals. Alright, so, decal pack, job done. Pop that back in bag. What do you think to that Spitfire then? Do you think it looks alright? I'll tell you what, if you've got it in your stash, or you've watched other people building it and you're thinking, I don't know whether I fancy a little bit of that or not, up to press, touch wood, it's been absolutely superb. Absolutely superb. So, colour scheme, we've got the FS number call out up at the top, flat black, white, dark grey, light stone, green, blue, grey, olive, drab and orange. That's for the big sort of bulbous things there. I don't even know what they call them. What do they call those? They're like protectors, aren't they, at front of engine? Is it to stop too much air going in? And this particular scheme, it's got a funny sort of two-tone green pattern on it. One is light stone and the other one looks like it's olive drab, which actually is my favourite green. I do love olive drab, and I'm guessing that on the other side that we've got the grey one. Obviously I would have known straight away decal wise if we'd have had some kind of cut out for this particular scheme, but there isn't one. There's no mask set, so I do like that one. Let me just show you that. I do really like it. But I do like grey stuff, don't I? That's what I'm all about. I think it's got something to do with my age, and even just looking at that front head-on view, it does look absolutely awesome. I do like that. I'm not particularly struck on the other one, I've got to admit. But this sort of tiger meat kind of thing, it does do a lot of singing and dancing for me. It really does. So, unless of course I can find an alternative. But I'll probably stick with the plan. Let's just get rid of the box for a second and look through the instructions. More for my benefit than yours. So straight away we've got the sprues. They all look labelled up with numbers. A, B, C, D times 2. No E then. Oh, there is, that's over there. So we've got an E, then we're bouncing over to F, G, H. Have we got an I, J times 2, J times 2, two different J's. I'll have to watch out for that one. And by the looks of it, a massive photo etch set as well. We're starting with seat belts, and PE I do know stands for photo etch. So some photo etch belts. Seats look really cool. Seats look really cool to construct. Loads of different parts, and obviously the back parts as well, and it's showing you here all about the seat belts, one thing or another. And that's leading us on to a bit of a bed. That's the troop seat assembly. That's that one down there. Turning over onto page 2, we've got instrument panel assembly on that one. Okay, and it's showing you how it all comes together. Loads and loads of different parts on building the actual office with the sticks and lots of panels and one thing or another. Seating, looks absolutely great, that. And I do know that the window on this particular bird is absolutely massive. So it looks like I'm going to have to do a little bit of work in there. Cockpit assembly onto page 6. Putting the sides in, looks like we've got a bit of a roof, couple of struts, and a sort of separator there. And then this part as well. Is that? Looks like it. Might be inverted upside down. Then we're on to engines. So it looks like we've got a couple of engines in there. Engine assembly. And again, it's showing you all the different stages on what to do there. Left engine assembly and right engine assembly. So that looks pretty cool. Glad that you got those in. And then you get the engine installation up at the top, sitting onto those bits there, with these on top as well. Okay, I do like that a lot. All moving tailplane, ATG missile guidance antenna assembly, and the anti-tank missile optical guidance system. I do like how they've actually said what it is, because again, if you've watched my videos in past, I'll say that bit that sticks out, because I'm not really au fait with what they all are. Left stub wing assembly with the pylons on as well, and then that's replicated on the other side for your right wing. Looking really good. Happy with this so far. Main gear assembly, left undercarriage assembly on this side. Looks quite alright. Couple of triangles, bit of a strut. We've got a wheel with a tyre on it, obviously. And then that's replicated down the other side. Nose undercarriage assembly. Looks quite a simple affair, but we can see that the hub is different to the tyre, which means I can actually paint that without having to fanny about, trying to mask off unused circles and one thing and another. Circles are masking tape. And then we've got the 4-barreled rotating gun assembly. Does that go onto the front? We're looking the part now, aren't we? We've got that into a bit of a sub-assembly that slots on underneath. You've got your engines on, you've got your office done. Left main undercarriage installation and a couple of windows going in, and then your right side as well. Don't look any drama there. Windows though, in from inside. Oh, shit the bed every goddamn time. So windows from inside. How many builds do you think I've done over years where I've done all this and I've got brilliant and you closed it all up, one thing and another, and then you come to mask that window off and it goes pop and pops back off onto inside, and then you end up checking it then, don't you, and trying to get it out. So sub-assemblies, once you've got all that bit done, we can paint all the inside of that on both sides, obviously. Wheels are already on, stick those two together, which is great, and then by looks of it, we're on to engine installation and getting ready for the rotors to sit on. But before we do that, engine cover installation, couple of cowlings here that have obviously got to onto this side. Lower door insulation, installation, bonehead. What we got here? So engine cover installation on the opposite side, and we've got a little bit of photo extra, which don't look too bad. And the other door as well, and we can actually have the cowlings for the engines in the open position. So where are we looking? We're looking down here, look. You can see there that you can actually have, and if I just turn that over and sort of point to there, looks like I can have the engines open. Putting your wings on, your stub wings, lights and pylons and already on, and one thing or another, tail rotor assembly, okay, and putting that on as well. Turning over onto page 16, which is step 31, your infrared jammer installation, which goes halfway down the fuselage, and all this obviously already done now. Could prove to be a little bit tricky. I'm going to have to get my brain sort of like in the zone, if you will, to get this right. We've got a de-icing system and an infrared jammer. De-icing system, it's there, look. Need one of them for my car with weather we've been having. Tail bumper assembly, ammo box assembly, pilot cockpit door assembly, canopy assembly, adding all these little bits of fret and one thing and another. Okay, are we talking about masking City Nightmare? Flipping that bird upside down, then we've got lower fuselage. And again, it's sort of showing you all this little part that your sub-assembly is already attaching on, and a few more little bits and bats. You know, it is what it is. I'll tell you what, there's loads and loads. There's so many attachments that need to go on this. It looks absolutely phenomenal. Belly fuselage assembly again on the other side. All the attachments going on, obviously before paint. Getting to the end of the book. Main rotor assembly, always interesting to see how that goes together. I did build the Italieri Chinook. I'll see if I can find a picture. I did build that, and the only thing that let that down was the rotor blade assembly. Very, very weak, very brittle. But we'll have to see how this one comes together. You can see on this one, looks like quite a solid part going on to that. So that all looks great, ready for some detailing. And then again, one of the final pictures you can see, putting your canopy on, engines open, sitting your rotor housing on. All that looks absolutely superb. It's making me wet already. Okay, and there's still some more. We're on to missiles. We've got a 9M17P missile. Does it say ×2? It does, make 2. We've got some FAB 500 bombs up in this top corner. We've got some FAB 250 bombs, FAB 100 bombs, FAB 50 bombs. Obviously going smaller in size. More bombs, more, what's that? That's a cluster bomb. And we've got fuel tanks, and we've got rocket pods. I mean, what's not to like? We've got grenade launchers, several parts, a ZAB 100, no idea. A ZAB, is that a ZAB? A ZAB, a ZB 500 bomb. We've got a spiral missile system, rocket pods. We've got a cannon pod as well. You can see all that. And then, finally, we've got all the armament there that's all built, and then the actual layout, which is great, so that we're not guessing. I'll tell you what, because I'm a backwards builder, aren't I? So I love building armament, and it's showing us there the pylon numbers 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 6. If I just offer that up so we can see this one, number 6 on your outboard pylon, takes the 9M 11486, and I'm pretty sure that that will be in there. You know, if it's not in there, it'll be in there somewhere, because I can remember talking about the FAB 250s and the ZB 500s and fuel tanks, and you can put them on all these different pylons. What an absolute beauty of a kit this Hind looks like it's going to be. If you have built it, if you've built it and it turns out something like will you let me know what I'm looking for, as far as if there's any fit issues. I'm not bothered about flash and sinkholes, because again, and I said the same every time, we get sanding sticks and knives, blades and all that sort of thing that we can sort them out. So you've just seen me take all these sprues out of the box, all ready to go back in, and we do get a separate little box here. Let's have a look what's in here. What's in here? It's got to be clear parts. Well, I'm hoping it's clear parts, otherwise I'm going to be knackered. It is, it's clear parts and fret. So the canopy, great detail on there, and a solid piece of plastic it is as well. Then we've got some more clear parts. I'm not particularly sure. I think they must be engine. Yeah, they are. They're the engine cowlings. So it looks like you get the option of clear part and hopefully full plastic part. You get instrument panel, which is a tiny little bit of black, and then you do get that little bit of fret. Okay, it's not my favourite thing, it will, but I'll have a bash. Why wouldn't you? And then instrument panel on there. Looks like that's for the front end, etc, etc. So that's and a nice little touch as well, that, putting it in a box. I do like opening a box within a box. It makes it feel like proper Christmas. Not just half a Christmas. I'm just going to have a drink of my tea, coffee. Because when you're rabbiting on, you do get a little bit of dry gob. So, what we got here? Sprue 1 and 2, because there's 2 in this bag. I do want to save the bag, because like I say, I've still got plenty to do on Spitfire before I even think about getting this out. I'm very carefully popping it to one side, and then I always do that with bag, and I'm looking down here to see if there's any bits falling off, and there hasn't. So detail, flash and sinkholes is what I'm looking for. Detail is, we've got engraved detail, and I know that this particular helicopter is absolutely, it looks like a riveter's nightmare, not a rivet counter's nightmare. Nice detail on the inside. Couple of sinkholes that I can see. Yeah, sort of like, so where's that? I mean, obviously I'm looking at this sort of bulbous area here, and before I sort of like look, I wouldn't particularly know where that is, but already I can see on there I've got a couple of sinkholes possibly to fill. No drama, Marky, no drama. That's what filler's for. If it all went together like, you know, dead simple, like Lego, it'd be boring, wouldn't it? Lovely pieces on inside. Looks like we've got some instrument panel, side instrument panel. Now, I did actually talk, no I didn't, I did, a guy today posted on one of the Facebook forums, I think it was the Mediocre Modelers, and he was actually talking about what do you lot do as far as detailing this sort of thing is concerned, because he said I've had to sand all that off before I had the decal, and a couple of people said, oh, you know, the Quinta's the way to go and Red Fox, and absolutely it is, but that's only if you can afford it, and you know, there's people like me that can't. So how do you go about this? And I sort of like put my two penny in and said, well, you can either paint it all black and then dot and dab with your whites and reds and yellows and one thing and another, or you can actually give it a grey primer, then a white coat, then black over the top, and then very, very carefully then with a very thin low grade sanding stick, which I've got in my hand, a pink one, so it's not too abrasive. Just give that a tiny little sand like this, and it will remove the black paint to reveal the colours that you've painted underneath. And that's actually, in my opinion, that's a lot safer bet than doing it the other way, because when you are dotting and dabbing, you are not in control. You obviously got the paintbrush in your hand, but even when you just dab, or even a cocktail stick or something, a hypo needle, you just touch it just a little bit too much and it floods around the buttons, and it just looks wrong. Okay, so possibly I will actually look, see if there's any aftermarket for it. Sean up at SGS Models in Leeds, if you're watching this, feel free to give me a ping, mate, to see if I can add any aftermarket to this particular kit, because this is going to be nothing in the bag. This looks like it's going to be an absolute gem. Rob, feel free to get in touch and let me know how yours went on. Loads rockets here. We've got rocket launchers, we've got engine detail, more detail for the engine, a little bit to wiring, etc, etc. Looks like we've got some kind of pylon system going off there. Sink marks are all on the inside. The sprue gates aren't too bad either. They don't look too bad at all. A little bit there, just trying to escape. Detail, sunken detail. So that all looks cool. That's that one. Is that one just a replica of that one? I'm sure it will be. We've got sprue D, sprue D, sprue D, sprue. Oh yeah, all the same. So we get two of those, obviously, for a left side and a right side. A driver's side and a passenger side, Mark. That's it, isn't it? Driver's side and a passenger side. Detail looks great. Okay. Let's go with this one then. Let's open the bag. Do you know what? I always criticise people that do this on videos, don't I? And here I am doing it. Because I think, well, mate, I know I don't want to chuff him bag up, but that's because I haven't really got into it yet. Doing it sort of live as we speak. Bag out. Check the bag. Nothing in the bag. Stub wings, I love that, stub wings. Tops and bottoms. There is a little bit of, not deformation, but there is a little bit of a sort of stretch mark. I can see it. I don't know if it's if camera's going to pick it up or not. If I just bring it up a little bit more, there's a little bit of a stretch mark on there. No drama. I'm sure that I can come past that. Again, sprue gates, very thin, looking really, really nice. They'll just sort of snap off with the old cutters, dead easy. Quite happy with that. Sink marks all on inside, so again, no great shakes there. Like I say, I have had to fill a couple of the sink marks in on the Spitfire, which you know, no bother like, but I'd rather not. I'd rather spend my time doing the paint job. Okay, these are the triangles that I was talking about for the undercarriage, and I can see that, a little bit of flash, but again, I can cut that off and sand it flat, so no problem there. He says, you watch, it'll turn out to be a right chuffing dog. Into another bag. Slice you open. I don't really like using my blades to open bags. I usually use scissors. I like to keep my blades nice and fresh for doing actual proper modelling stuff. Nothing in the bag again. And again, we're on to look at all that armament. It looks absolutely delicious, doesn't it? There's chuffing tons of it. There's tons and tons and tons of it, and it's going to be a bit of a quandary on exactly what I put in, what I sling onto it. Do you know what I can feel coming on? I know Paul's watching this video and he's nodding his head and he's going, "Go on, Paul, tell me, what is it? What am I looking at here?" Magnets, Mark. You're looking at magnets. And definitely something to consider at this stage. Okay, now whether I go with that or not, I don't know. Another bag of armament. Chuffing hell. Tell you what, 4 bags of armament for an helicopter. I think this is the one that they used in... Did they use this particular helicopter in the Rocky... Not Rocky, Jesus Christ. Rambo film. Fucking Rocky. What am I on about? Yeah, Rocky's up against a hind. Yeah, that'd be funny. No, it won't. Yeah, in the red corner. Weighing in at 28 tons. Check the bag, Mark. Check the bag. Empty. Lovely. Some more armament, bombs. There's absolutely tons of the stuff. Tons and tons and tons of the stuff. I've just put my hand under there just to sort of like... If you're watching this on your phone, you might not be able to pick these bits up. But if you're watching it on your big screen, IMAX type telly, you might get it. Sink marks are going inside, ejector pin that's not going to cause me any issues. The sprue gates, again, all the way through this kit have been really, really thin, which is great. Saves me having to rive them off with a massive knife. A massive knife. Sounds like I use a chuffing butcher's knife. I don't, obviously. So that one in there. Rotor blades. Let's have a look at these. Detail. Now, helicopters that I've built in the past have had sink marks, ejector pin marks in the blades. On, I think, literally every helicopter that I've built, apart from that CH-53 that I did, the Revel one that I did late last year. That didn't have any sink marks in the blades. Check the bag, that's empty. Detail, let's have a look. The plastic is, well, you can hear, listen. I mean, how much detail do you want? Why does that look wet? I wonder if it's got a release agent on this. That looks a bit wet, that. Dave, have you had this kit in bath? I'm kidding. Obviously, this one is all your rotor housing and assemblies. It looks wet. Looks like it's got glue splashes on it. What is that? I wonder if it's... Let me just see if the camera will pick up the reflection on that part there. If I hold that up to the camera, can you see there, look how it looks wet? Can you see it glistening in light? I wonder if that's... it is as well, you know. Hang on. It doesn't smell of anything, but it's oily. It's actually oily. And it's all the way down the main blades. Little bit of flash, but no drama. That's quite bizarre. Listen, I don't usually ask for comments, but it's nice when people interact. And I have got quite a few of you interacting with me going forward. It's great that you do. I love it. And I've actually got some Made some really nice acquaintances through this YouTube thing I'm doing. Coffee's going cold. And then finally, this one's already open. Check the bag. Nothing in it. So, I'll tell you what I did see down at club 2 weeks ago. Clem, Ian, has got that new Sky Crane helicopter. And he's having a bash at that, which is sort of like what spurred me on to get this. Now then, is there any of that release agent? I'm saying it's release agent. I'm not entirely sure. Great detail, thin sprue gates again. 3 down the spine. 3 down the spine. 1, 2, 3. 1 on the tail. 2 on the tail. Now that one looks a little bit deformed. But I'm sure it'll be okay. Great detail all over. I can see that that's where... Is that where the undercarriage goes? Possibly, because that part there, if I just turn that round, I'm pretty sure that that's where that wing strut sticks out. And then you've got nice detail on your floor pan. A couple of little buttons and one thing or other on your bulkhead, and again I can sort of zhuzh that up if I want to. I have got some of that thin lead wire. It depends what sort of mood I'm in, and it depends on how much of that, how much of that you can see inside. Well, actually no, I tell a lie. It's probably that, I think, isn't it? It's all that front end. There, is that for your engine part, that part? But it does look, the detail looks great, the sprue gates look really nice and thin, and it looks the part. Let's just get the old ruler out and have a little look. If I turn it that way and put it up to there, we're looking at 30, 40, 50, 51 centimetres. And you know what? That's a really big bird. Is that, if I sort of like just hold that, you can't see what I'm seeing. But if I look at that on my bench now, with the wheels down, that gorgeous glass canopy, massive rotor, then that is going to look the part, isn't it? The old Hind. I think there's a couple of helicopters that are nice to build, and sort of variants of helicopters. I have done the Osprey, not a helicopter, but not fixed wing. That's like the hybrid, isn't it? And that were a decent build. That was the Italieri one. And I have done the Chinook, like I said. I have done a 1 in 48 Lynx, and that's absolutely tiny. Obviously compared to this behemoth of plastic. And I have done that CH-53, and that's, as far as helicopters are concerned, that is my little pride and joy, is that one, because it turned out really, really nice. So that's it. Mill MI 24V Hind E helicopter, 1 in 35 scale. I know Paul, like I've said, Paul will be watching this going, ditch the Spitfire, Mark, ditch the Spitfire. Right, make a start on this, mate. Come on, let's have a look. Because he wants to have a look how good it's going to be. So there you go. What do you think? Like I said, drop me a comment if you've built it, if you've got it in the stash, if you've got any suggestions or ideas on schemes. Like I say, I do particularly like this one. It does look a little bit tasty, and I do like my grey stuff, don't I? Okay, so that is going to be after after this. Quick roundup then. It's club this Saturday. And I think, well, I'm hoping that Mark, Mr. Lid, is going to bring his F15 down, because he's been trying a new technique that we've discussed with his pre-shading. And again, I'll see if I can take some still shots of his images and whack them up on this screen. I'm just fixing my little sander there. And I'm hoping that Bridgie is going to bring his Revel SR71 down. That's an absolutely enormous kit as well. He's done a cracking job with that, with the paint job, because although it's a Blackbird, it's not black, is it? And there's loads being built on YouTube and shown on Facebook and across all the social media platforms, where there are all the different blacks and rubber black and shiny black and dull black and one thing or other. And we're going to go and have a look at that. Okay. And see what that particular thing is like. I did do the leg struts for the Spit last night. Give that a little bit of a metallic. And if I just hold that up, because I did take some pictures, but I don't think it quite caught what I'd tried to do with that. And then number 2, if I just sort of hold that, and again, what I'm looking at there is the base part that should hopefully be really, really shiny. Spitfire undercarriage, yeah, done. Canopy is masked off, ready. That's just mask all. A little bit of masking tape on that one. Wheels are done. Need a little bit of dirt around them. I think radiators or coolants or whatever they need painting. That's the bottom part. I'll tell you what, that actually took a little bit of fettling, did that. But that's ready as well for a little bit of paint, etc, etc. Okay. How long have I been going? 47 minutes. Chuffing hell, time don't half fly when you're waffling on. Listen, you've seen what I'm building next, you've seen what I'm building now. Should be at least another sort of week or 2 on this, at least, and then I shall move on to the Hind. Stay safe, everybody. Thanks for watching as usual. Please drop a comment if you feel like it. Sub and share and all that waffle that everybody talks about on YouTube. Stay safe. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Cheers.